For those of you that don't know, this is the first conflict since the Revolutionary War that this country has fought with an all-volunteer force. And I want to echo the CSM sentiments. I appreciate the service of each and every one of you. Thank you for your service. I'm honored and humbled to serve you as your brigade commander. Yes, I'm your commander, but it's my job to serve you, to make sure each and every one of you has what you need to go to war, engage and destroy the enemy if necessary, and come home alive. That's my job. That's what I intend to do. Part of that is to give you the tools you need. And the Army talks a lot about PTSD. You've all heard of PTSD. A lot of you have taken that MBTI training. The Army talks a lot about what to do after you come back to help yourself through PTSD. The Army has a lot of programs to help you through post-traumatic stress disorder when you get back from deployment. What the Army needs to do is what you're about to get from Dr. Nerenberg. Dr. Nerenberg is about to give you some tools to help you prevent post-traumatic stress disorder. You owe it to yourselves, to your battle buddies, to your unit, and most of all to your families, to listen to what he has to say, to put it into practice, and to come home safe and sound, mentally and spiritually and physically. Okay, so we're fortunate today, it's my honor today to introduce to you Dr. Nerenberg. Now, Lieutenant Fraker is going to tell you a little bit more about his background, but we're all honored today and fortunate to have Dr. Nerenberg here. He is outstanding in his field. He is one of the nation's foremost leaders in his field. He knows what he's talking about. And incredibly, just like all of you are volunteers, Dr. Nerenberg has volunteered countless hours of his time to develop this program and present this program not only to you, but to other soldiers. So I think we owe Dr. Nerenberg a warm welcome, a warm 304 Sustainment Brigade, 155th CSB, 137th QM Company welcome. Let's give them a warm welcome. Lieutenant Fraker, please finish the introduction.
I'm First Lieutenant Fraker, Commander 693rd, and the reason I'm up here this morning is I get to brag about a good friend of mine, Dr. Nerenberg. I met Dr. Nerenberg about 3 years ago in a kind of funny in powerlifting. Dr. Nerenberg is one of the strongest men in the world for his age and weight, and I'm into powerlifting, and we met up through that, and since then we became great friends. But Dr. Nerenberg, he's actually, he invented, or he was the founder of road rage. He coined that term and made it the big event that it was. He's been on all the major TV shows, Sally Jesse Raphael, Montel, and so we've been working on this PTSD program, the prevention program, over the last 4 or 5 months, and we're happy to share it with you today. So without further ado, let's give a big hooah to Dr. Nerenberg.
Being with you right now, believe it or not, is the highlight of my life, the highlight of my career. On behalf of all the citizens of the United States, we thank you for the service that you're performing for us. Although I've been given a very generous introduction, I will say that every one of you, in my mind, is greater than I am because you have the uniforms on. You are the heroes. And by hero, I mean anybody that has the uniform means that person is willing to put himself or herself in harm's way to protect their country, their family, and their sisters and brothers in arms. So I'm deeply humbled and honored to be here with you. As warriors, which every one of you are, but you represent the ultimate of what the warrior is. You represent the full nobility of our nation. Most individuals haven't felt just how noble and grand this nation is. The American spirit is undefeatable. It's beyond imagination. I've only experienced it a few times in my life. When I felt the full power of it, I saw how majestic it was. And you are the embodiment of that American spirit. You are greater than what you realize. Do you know a definition I'm going to give you of a warrior that you may never have heard before? The warrior mindset. And it's what separates the warrior from the non-warrior. The ultimate warrior is yourselves in the uniform. But it's a mindset that a civilian or any human being can have. And for those of you who no longer wear the uniform later in your lives, you'll still have this mindset. And this is what separates the warrior from the non-warrior. It's this statement I'm about to give you. A warrior seeks to gain power from hardship, whereas others are destroyed. A warrior seeks to gain power from struggle and difficulties. We put ourselves up against that struggle and we draw the power out. It sounds crazy. Hell, it was crazy for me to be weightlifting when I had a heart attack 5 years ago, became a world champion 1 year later, after my doctor kept saying, hey, don't go too heavy, don't go too heavy. Set a world record at the age of 61. And he kept examining me over the years and eventually asked me to be his personal trainer, which I did as a favor for him. Now, after that, see, your enemy is pretty much external. You're in good health. I've been assassinated by myself. My own arteries closing up. I got a stent put in the heart. My enemy is an inner terrorist. Inside attack. So came through the heart attack. 4 years later, became officially the strongest man in the world for my age and weight while I had prostate cancer. 1 year ago, I had prostate cancer, and my power thought then, I will gain power intellectually, spiritually, and emotionally from this prostate cancer. It took two forms. Lord, please empower me spiritually, emotionally, and physically from this prostate cancer was one form. And the second was, I will gain power emotionally, spiritually, and intellectually from this prostate cancer. Now, this prostate cancer, this assassin that was in my prostate, my own cells, the cancer cells, it wasn't just a little bit. I had a fair amount of cancer. And I had a fairly aggressive type. It was a 7 on the Gleason score. What's going to surprise you to know, and I'm shocked to even tell you this, it was a highlight of my life. I was so up. It was like a holy pilgrimage for me. I remember the hotel I stayed, walking to Cedar Sinai, feeling happy and joyous. Now, did I go through any stress? Yes, I did. When I didn't know what technique I was going to use to get rid of the cancer, I was stressed. I didn't know. There were so many options. But once I understood which one I'm going to do, I was elated and happy. Even when I was in the operating room, I was happy.